Good morning, everyone. This is going to be a longer video because I'm going to be going over the Magnificent 7 and also Tesla and QQQ, but I have a ton to cover in this video, so let's just go ahead and get started. And we are going to start with Apple. So going over Apple, the 5 mile is currently at 245.06. The 10 mile is at 239.14, the 20 mile is at 235.96, and the upper Bollinger is at 250.02, the lower Bollinger is at 221.89. All the support right now is currently underneath the market price. Even in the overnight session, it's at 245.40 or 54, and then we closed at 245.55 on Friday. So we're very likely going to be seeing a 5 mile test. And what also shows me that we're going to be seeing a 5 mile test is that the hourly chart, sorry, just 1 second, everybody. 4 hour chart has this really nice cup built. So we have this cup, and now we just need to form a handle. And we also have this head and shoulders forming right here. Which is how we get the cup top and, pull downward to form that handle to push back upward. So with that said, I'm expecting Apple overall to be bullish, very likely to head upward towards the upper Bollinger, but very likely you're going to come down slightly, test some support, and then head back upward, just because that cup needs a handle. Next we have Microsoft. So we have the 5 mAh at 410.94. We have the 10 mAh at 410.36. We have the 20 mAh at 417.28. We have the upper Bollinger at 441.97 and the lower Bollinger at 392.60. It's very likely we're going to see the 5 mAh open around the 409.60 range, give or take. Currently the overnight's at 408.73 and we closed at 408.21. Now we're seeing the 5 mAh and the 10 mAh start to consolidate, and we're also seeing that a lot of the support is actually above the market price. It's very likely we're going to start heading upward, but we're still within the selling channel on, I know this doesn't look pretty. Hold on, let me go ahead and hide the Bollingers for a second and everything. We're in this very large selling channel, but we can still head upward. There's still a lot of room on both the up and down side, but we've been consolidating the moving averages, and very likely after this consolidation, it's going to fill upward and fill that cup right there. So that one right there. That's what I would be looking for on Microsoft. Just a quick reminder before we get into the technical analysis. If you've been finding value in my insights, consider joining my Patreon. For just $12.99 a month, you'll get access to my trades, courses, and powerful tools to help you grow as a trader. I'd love to have you be a part of our team and community. And it's less than 43 cents a day. So if you'd like to join, click in the link in the description. Thanks. I just recorded a full video on the video, so we're going to skip that and head straight for Amazon. Amazon has been selling off extremely hard over the last, 2 weeks of, trading sessions. But with that said, let's quickly go over the moving averages and the Bollingers. So we have the 5 mAh at 224.28. We have the 10 mAh at 227.58. The 20 mAh at 232.40. The upper Bollinger at 244.76 and the lower Bollinger at 220.04. The market price closed at 216.58, which is, below everything right now. It's even below the bottom Bollinger quite significantly. So we should see the 5 mAh open close to that 219.70 range, give or take. So it's starting to pull down into the lower Bollinger, which is a good signal for calls, actually. And we also have this large inverse cup formed here. I'm not going to use that as a cup. That is the worst drawn cup ever. We have that cup starting to form here. And with this being an extended and pretty deep Bollinger move, this is a pretty good buying zone. If we don't push down further, if this isn't essentially like a deep day two bottom Bollinger move, then this should start being pretty bullish and filling some of the support upward. Sorry, I just wanted to look at this myself. I haven't looked at this on the 4-hour. And very likely, now that we close that inverse cup, we should start forming a handle. Something like this, before pulling downward. And again, this handle isn't drawn perfectly. Don't assume that that's going to be where the top is. Just go support by support, and you'll be fine on that. I also see potentially a large head and shoulders forming here on the daily chart, which would also suggest that we are going to pull upward to form that right shoulder to pull downward more. So that's my expectations for Amazon. I'm going to be doing a different video right after this one on semiconductors, so I'll talk about Broadcom, TSM, and SOX and everything in that video. Alright, going over Google, and let's pull up the moving averages and the Bollingers as always. So we have the 5 mile at 185.60. We have the 10 mile at 186.37. We have the 20 mile at 192.94. The upper Bollingers at 208.47, and the lower Bollingers at 177.41. The market price closed Friday at 181.58, and it's very likely we're going to see the 5 mile open around the 183.80 mark. So the 5 mile is being pulled down. It's very likely that we're going to see this push into the bottom Bollinger here. We're in bearish territory. We have the supports pulled above us. So unless we see some major break, and we'll see that by seeing the 5 mile retested and forming, bullish liquidity in the form of potentially like an inverse head and shoulders to form a cup upward. That's what I would look for the bullish thesis, but very likely we're going to see this break down further and fill this large inverse cup here. That's just my expectations overall on that. It's getting close to a buy area, but we want this bottom Bollinger pushed first. So really look forward to that 177. But as I said, likely we're going to retest some of the support and then head down. Next, going over Meta, we have the 5 mile. Let me pull this up. All right, we have the 5 mile at 707.04. We have the 10 mile at 714.09. We have the 20 mile at 699.69. We have the upper Bollinger at 746.35, and we have the lower Bollinger at 653.02. The market price closed at 683.55, and it's very likely we're going to see the 5 mile open around the 696.30 mark, give or take. Now, excuse me, we have a lot of room downward, and as you can see, it's starting to break downward. We see the 5 mile crossing under the 10 mile. We see that breakaway from the upper Bollinger. We see the market price pulling under the 20 mile. So what's very likely going to happen next is we're going to see the 5 mile cross into and under the 20 mile, and that can happen, like I mentioned, this next session, and that would be a big window for it to start heading to the bottom Bollinger. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this bottom Bollinger move to start filling out. And I just want to look at this on the 4-hour chart for a moment. Yeah, we have this large inverse cup here, and I think it takes us right down to the bottom Bollinger. Yeah, it's at that 665 area, which the bottom Bollinger is at 653. That's going to pull upward towards us as we head towards it. So my expectations really for this inverse cup to fill out, start building some support, build a handle, and then pull back downward from there. And we see the ADL and everything starting to pull downward pretty significantly. You can actually see head and shoulders starting to form in the ADL. I can't draw on this one, I don't think. No, it won't allow me to draw on it. But you can see the left shoulder, the head, and then potentially the right shoulder can start forming from there. But again, with all the support being right above us, we should expect some upward retesting of that before completely pulling downward. So if you are looking to short this, I'd be trying to short this from either the 20 mAh or the 5 mAh. But with where the 5 mAh is going to open, it's essentially right at the 20 mAh level. So it is a good area for a short, but just again, hedge the upside. Don't just play puts and assume it's gonna just dump. Now we're also gonna go over Tesla. I know it's not a part of the Magnificent 7 right this second anyway, but we're still just gonna discuss it regardless. So for Tesla, we have the 5 mAh at 352.54. Since the market price closed at 337.80, it's very likely we're going to see the 5 mAh around the 347.30 mark, give or take. We have the 10 mAh at 349.60. We have the 20 mAh at 371.01. The upper Bollinger's at 419.99, so essentially 420. And then we have the lower Bollinger at 322.03. We completed this large, let me turn this off, this large inverse cup right here, and we're starting to finish a handle. This can still pull upward, but it's very likely that this is going to start either form a head and shoulders right here, and then pull downward, and then form that cup handle, and then pull downward, or we're just going to see this turn into a handle, and then, start pulling downward from there. We've entered back into, a pretty large consolidation area, and I'm actually going to pull this up to that period, or that point. So what the expectation should be is for us actually to be bouncing in this area for a little bit. And if that does happen, then we can see a large head and shoulders start to form on the daily chart as well. I don't think this is a cup or anything, if I remember correctly. No, this might be the extended top of a cup. Which, yeah, that would make sense. So once we do see that move downward, if we continue downward anyway, I'm expecting us to, then, again, test that bottom Bollinger, form a handle upwards, and then we can, start looking upward or start looking towards the upside anyway. And if we are going to see the upside, then, we should start looking for, potentially an inverse head and shoulders to form. And for this very large cup to start filling, and that would fit within the liquidity very well, because that would take us to the top of the buying channel and allow us to form a cup from there. For the breakout upward, if we're gonna start seeing a really large move upward based on, just the whole liquidity and everything. And finally, going over QQQ, let me show the moving averages and Bollingers. And I apologize if I get some of these notes wrong. My daughter drew all over it. So it closed, QQQ closed at 526.08. We have the 5 mAh currently at 536.07. It should be opening around the 531.40, give or take a little bit. We have the 10 mAh at excuse me, at 532.47. We have the 20 mAh at 527.78. and we have the upper Bollinger at 542.26 and the lower Bollinger at 513.29. We're starting to see a lot of consolidation within that 527 to 532 range. So as you can see, we're seeing the 5 mAh to start pulling down towards the 20 mAh. The 20 mAh is starting to pull downward. The Bollinger is starting to pull downward. And we just have quite a bit of gaps downward. To start closing, we have a gap at 521, and we have a gap at 507, I believe, or 510. So if this starts pulling downward, there is quite a bit of room for this to continue heading downward. But we do have this large cup formed. And very likely this is just the top of a cup. So pulling downward, forming some support to pull back upward overall. But this still could potentially be like a double top. So what I'm really looking forward to is, if this is a double top, if this is going to invalidate this large cup, then we will see us reject the 20 mAh, pull the 5 mAh down, and start heading into the bottom Bollinger overall. But that's going to align and basically really dictate whether we do or not based on NVIDIA's earnings this week. So if NVIDIA has a really good earning, then we can very likely expect all-time highs. If it does poorly, then it's going to be the end of the world for a little while, and the tech overall will start to break downward. Overall, though, I'm seeing a lot of tech in areas of where they want to build support to head down. Some of these do want to head up, but overall, the majority are looking like they do want to start trying to head downward. Um, so just take that with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean we're heading into a bear market or anything, but um, this could just be for liquidity to pull all-time highs, or this could be something much greater and heading down towards this major buying channel we have on the daily chart, which would be a pretty significant move down. I mean, um, yeah, we don't want to head back down to here for a while. I know the bears do, but that would not be good for the market. Anyway, I hope everyone has a great week and a good day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.